Chavrusa Daf.
Okay. Chavrusa Daf.
Yeah, Chavrusa Daf.
Mobilizing right here for Chavrusa Daf.
Your viewers are gonna get so many texts after your feature.
So I am now 80% through Nazir.
That's amazing. That's 80% more than most people.
And I do anticipate finishing it. I'm also 2/3 through Chagiga.
Right?
But today is a new Masechta, Sotah, which has some massive blot, right? The pages are large, right?
Pages are large, so but they're not in charge. We are.
Ooh, I like that. I thought Gittin was after. I thought Gittin was after, but it wasn't.
Mechanic.
But I do want to do, for those listening, we don't anticipate doing Sotah in continuity right now. We do want to finish Nazir, but we want to start Sotah. We want to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You can see Langer listens to the entire thing.
What?
He listens to the episodes now in full.
Why?
He waits for moments where we say stories or jokes, and then he comments. Look on the last few. He'll comment on the timestamp of when he enjoyed it.
You didn't think about it?
What?
Yeah, crazy, right?
They need us.
That's the whole reason.
They need
People
us.
need us. Well, I really enjoyed the dance in the last time.
You like the dance?
I enjoyed it. First of all, because it's true what they say about the family feel.
Yeah,
I feel connected to him.
you're so weird.
He responds to comments. He's not just like this guy in the cloud, CEO. Stuff. When he posts something and you comment, Dan responds.
Oh, this kitchen set is such a good deal. Oh, thank you, Binyomin. Like, what are we doing here? I joined the WhatsApp group that they have. I started replying. They have 8 admins. They're like, oh, new kitchen set 8. I'm like, I just bought 12 of them. I can't stop. Help me. And they were selling kitchen cabinets or something. I'm like, oh, this is perfect for my shachmanis. Next year I'm going to put all my shachmanis. I'm going to give it out. Then yesterday they were like, oh, we have a 6 set of pots. I'm like, I already have this 6 set. Does this come in 8?
You're sending it directly to well, now they know you. They probably have your. I was literally laughing so hard because I didn't realize how dude, they're so just relaxed.
They're very mellow.
They're so it totally just took this deal, and I went on and I found the flight to Fiji, but then I didn't go because my son had a contest. But then I was literally listening to it on 0.75 speed. It's yeah.
By mistake, right?
So I went to Fiji yesterday, and the bro's yeah.
Why didn't you realize you were on 0.75? How long did you go on 0.75 in the episode?
About 5 minutes.
Oh my god.
And they're yeah, wow, man.
Sometimes if people speak quickly, it makes sense, but
No, but and then
they're not at 0.75.
I mean, I think I realized 2 minutes in because I know your voice, and I'm because I'll tell you what, I usually listen on 1.5, and I just thought this was 1x. So but it was hilarious. You should actually listen to 1.75.
But did you learn anything from the episode? Or it was just entertaining?
It was entertaining. To the extent where I was thinking he needs a podcast.
They were talking about that. They were talking about that in the forums. But some of the talent is in extracting that from him. It's the talent in the host.
No, I get it. And listen, in the end of the day, it's a passion project. But hearing about all his things that he does, it's just so fun to hear.
I wish my passion projects netted me millions and billions of dollars.
What do you think his bottom line is?
Millions.
Millions
Yeah.
of points or dollars?
Who cares?
That's a big difference.
Why?
Why?
He's paying his bills. You can sell points. You can trade points.
So I have a passion for like what he does. It would be so fun. One of the things I wanted to do was kind of like, like wire cutter. You ever like want like, oh, what's the best phone case? So they do like, they go through and test like 50 different phone cases, and they have like certain criteria, and then they like say these are the 3 best. This is the best if you want the budget one. This is the best if you want a little bit of
Isn't there
premium.
a magazine that did that at some point?
The Consumer Reports.
Yeah. They're still around?
They are still around. Wirecutter does it like for free. It's, again, there's no affiliate links, so they're not making money. Actually, they do have affiliate links, but they say that they're independent of the affiliate links.
Wirecutter is just technology, right? They're not like testing washing machines, are they?
Just test everything. Test everything.
Oh.
They'll test, like, I got headphones for my kids for the plane. We're going to go to Orlando. Race off. I was like, best kid plane headphones, and whatever. Anyways. Wow, so we're here to learn. Anyways, we are excited to start Sotah. We're 6 minutes in. We are ready to learn Hamakana. We might just get through the Mishnah, but we're doing it. We're starting. All right? Okay. The first chapter of this Masechta, Perek Aleph Hamakana, discusses the procedures for establishing a suspected wife as a questionable Sotah. If you've ever suspected your wife and you were wondering, where's she going at night? That's what a questionable Sotah is. He begins to discuss the procedures for administering the bitter waters to her. We have a podcast called That's an Issue, Living L'chaim. If you suspect your wife, maybe that's an issue. You can speak to relief. So we then have to give her the bitter waters to see if she's right in her claim of innocence. As these procedures are set in the motion by the husband's warning, that's called kinoi. Husband is warning, and the subsequent seclusion, stira. Okay, the first Mishnah discusses the number of witnesses required to verify the husband's warning. Do you need 1? Do you need 2? Do you need 10? And to verify the wife's subsequent seclusion with a suspected adulterer. So this is a very different, I would say, pace than Nazir. Nazir was, a guy was trying to be super kadosh, right? He was going on one side of the spectrum. He was saying, not only am I going to be a Pashat Yid and keep all the 613 mitzvahs, I'm also not going to be cutting my hair. I'm also not going to be drinking wine. Now we're kind of going like, right?
Yeah.
We're now like, no, we're suspecting adulterers. It's like total 180 right
And
there.
it's worth noting, I don't have the art scroll. I have a standard issued
Oh, the
Shul
standard.
Gemara, so I am completely reliant on
My commentary. Okay.
Binyomin GPT.
Okay. Well, here we go. Oh my gosh, I went on a rabbit hole yesterday understanding how AI could take over the world.
And what do you come out with?
I came out with is 3 things. It really depends on how the AI is trained, but technically, because they will never have emotion, but if you train an AI model to, let's say, it's going to do whatever it needs to do in order to have its mission. So if its mission is to make the world more efficient in its production, it might exploit workers. But in the end of the day, it's all based on how you program it to be.
Right now they're programming it ethically.
So it has
When
to,
they don't.
But here's the thing: there might be errors in how they program it. Right? You have to really make sure that you program it right.
When it falls into the bad people's hands, this technology, it's going to be run unethically.
So that's the thing. You can make autonomous weapons, right? You can make self-flying drones. They already have drones. So imagine you program the drone to kill a certain race.
Right.
And imagine then imagine it's able to replicate itself. So, like, how do you stop that? Whatever, you have to shoot down an unmanned drone. So yes, you could always pin it back to China, whatever it is. But like, whatever, possible.
Interesting.
Okay, so
In our lifetime, you think that will be an issue? Do you think that will be an issue?
Meaning, like,
to the point where like technology has gone rogue? It could be. It could be in 4 years. That's something.
Again,
that
here's the thing. So everyone's like, I'll just unplug it. But if you put that AI into a robot, right, and that robot is now actually able to do things, to build, and then that robot builds more robots that can build a whole city and have its own self-sustainable city, and then they decide for whatever reason, it's programmed for self-preservation. It could do whatever it takes. It needs to do in order to do that. Whatever. Okay. Hamakana le'ishtay, concerning one who warns his wife not to seclude herself with a particular man. V'lezer Aimer, Mekanala al Pishnayim. He warns her on the basis of 2 witnesses. Umashke al pi eid echad oy al pi atzmai. And he makes her drink the bitter waters on the basis of 1 witness, or even on the basis of his own testimony. What? You only need an eid echad? Let's talk about it. Rabbi Shua says no. Mekanala al pishnayim, umashka al pishnayim. He has to warn her on the basis of 2 witnesses, and she only drinks the bitter waters on the basis of 2 witnesses. So you were probably thinking, like, we always do things with 2 witnesses. Why are we listening to 1? Right?
According to the Tanakh, maybe because it started with 2 witnesses. So, like, we got that out of the way.
I think that might be what it's saying here. Let's see. Let's
so
read.
Interesting, because I never learned 1 daf of Nazir on this side. But yet, how you learn when there's no art scroll. Like, it's interesting, because, like, am I using my brain more now? Am I not? I don't know. It's just... I'm also completely reliant on your translation.
Right.
So as you read the notes, maybe I'll take a peek at Rashi, even though I can't really read Rashi's. ואם להיקינו לה בפני 2 אינה נאסרת עליו, בסירסה ואינה משקה.
Okay, so, great. So we have Machaikis, someone, when you warn the wife not to seclude herself with a particular man, does it have to be 2 Eidim or even 1 Eid? Mishnah delineates the laws of the warning. Kate said Makala. So how does this warning, how does the husband warn her? Armila b'fnei shnayim. He says to her in the presence of 2 witnesses. Okay? Al tadabri mishpleni. Don't speak with Eli Langer. But she ignored his warning and said, I need to speak to him about kosher money. Tell him that real estate, you can't go wrong. What was it with real estate? You can't lose. V'dibra imai, but she ignored his warning, and she spoke with Eli Langer. Adayin hi muteres l'beisa. She is still permitted to her house. Muteres l'echel b'truma. She's still permitted to eat truma if her husband's a kain. So what does that mean? She's permitted to her house means she's allowed to still be living with her husband. So issues, yichud, of like the fact that maybe they're not married anymore. Nichnasa imay lebeis haseser. However, if she entered a secluded place with the suspected adulterer, she saw them going to, harvesting media.
Okay, queen now. Okay, how about this? There's a guy named Ruvain. It's like one thing if I'm the Nazir.
No, but you're not the wife. You're the random guy that he's saying don't seclude yourself with.
It's also interesting how he he's...
Imagine your wife got nervous. Like, you're a businessman. Maybe there's a woman that, like, decides
I'm not putting this on the web.
I don't know.
But, like, if she... Like, everything's on her. What about him?
We'll get to him. I'm pretty sure that in the event...
Like, what about a sight? This is a sight.
So I'm pretty sure the sight, when the blowing of the stomachs happen, his stomach blows up too.
Oh,
Yeah.
even if he's not married?
Even...
Oh, because he's slept with an Aisha Sesh.
Yeah, Aisha Sesh is a big problem. I think...
Not a bad weight loss strategy.
Yeah. Who needs Ozempic? Just be a sight. All right, Kate's on McConnell, so I'm Shine. Okay, fine. We're not going to go with that thing anymore.
What's Case of McConnell?
Oh, sorry, I went back.
No.
How does he warn her?
How does he warn her? McConnell's warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says in front of two people, Al Tadabri and Mishplini. Show me that. If you can. They might be difficult to line others. I'll be in the lily this week. Then you're right away. Oh, so much to do today before I take off. I always leave things to the last minute. I still have to buy wine for Pesach. I have to do it today. Okay. A dining with Teres Labesa. You want to read what we said already?
So I'm a b'fnei shnaim al tidbri imish ploin v'dabri ima.
And she ignored his warning and still spoke with that person.
A dayan he muteres lebeso muteres lecha b'truma.
She's still mutter to her house and to truma if he's a husband. So now,
nechnasa ima lebeso aseisar.
However,
v'shahita imai. What's v'shahita?
V'shasa means you wait imai kadei tumasa, remained with him long enough for defilement to occur.
Oh, meaning if they enter for 3 seconds and walked out, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Kadei
Long enough for the note down here says, and it quotes Rashi, that if she remains secluded with the suspected adulterer long enough for the initial stage of intercourse to occur. The Gemara is going to talk about how long that is.
Kadei tuma asur lebesa.
So she waited. She was there with him enough. Kadei tuma asur lebesa. Then she is forbidden to go back to her husband. She's forbidden to eat truma until after you do the waters. Because why? We suspect that she had committed adultery, and therefore forbid her to have relations with her husband and to partake of truma. We forgot to say the PSA for this episode. Obviously, we're talking this Masechta is going to be about sensitive topics. If you find that your children are not of age, you don't want them to listening to these topics, please, fast forward, or you could go and find our nazirs.
Someone to be usher to her house. What is that? What's kedei over there?
Kedei means the amount of time. So b'shasa imai, she remains with him the amount of time kedei toma that it takes to defilement for occur. Then asura levesa, she's then forbidden to her house. She can't have tashrish with him. Because we suspect that she committed adultery, and once she's with someone else, it's forbidden to marry and cohabit with a suspected adulterer should her husband subsequently divorce or even die before she can drink the bitter waters. And if her husband died childless before she drank the bitter waters and the question of her faithfulness was not resolved, she requires chalitza. That is not taken in Yibam. Why? In such a case, since the husband died childless, the wife is subject to the law of Yibam, and she has to do chalitza. We're going to explain the Gemara why. Can you think about why before we see the Gemara?
Why chalitza?
Why she can't do Yibam? Because I guess perhaps she was still married. Couldn't she do Yibam?
Not sure.
All right, we'll see in the Gemara.
Michti, go ahead.
Michti, let's take a look. See, Tana minozer salak. We just finished Nazir.
Is that like a knock on us? Like, you just finished Nazir. And I'm like,
did you?
I got the Eretz Hashem.
My Tana, the Katana Saita. Eli Langer had this question. He thought we were supposed to be starting Gittin. Why are we talking about a Sotah after we talked about Nazir? What's Sotah have to do with Nazir?
Like Jerry Seinfeld?
What's the deal with the cab drivers and the BL? So why? Kid the Rebbe. The Tanya, Rebbe Aimer, Lama Nismacha Parshas Nazir, Le Parshas Saita, Laimar Lach. The Torah is telling us something of why these two parshas are together. Shekol Haroya Saita Bil Kilkula. Anyone who sees a Saita in her state of disgrace.
When her stomach explodes, you mean?
I think it's like talking about her hair covering, her hair coming off. They have to take her hair off. Yazir Atzmai Mina Yayin should separate himself from wine by vowing to become a Nazir, for it was wine that brought her to such a state. This is also why the tractates of Nazir and Sotah are juxtaposed. Meaning the Torah juxtaposed them. That's why we also do it here. The reference is, Cohen administers the bitter waters to a Sotah on the Temple Mount. There she is publicly humiliated. Her hair is uncovered, her dress torn at the shoulders, and an unseemly rope is tied around her above the bosom to support her torn garment. See the Mishnah below for details. Among other requirements, a Nazir is forbidden to consume grapes, wine, or any other grape product. So, one should limit his consumption of wine to prevent the levity that might lead him to immorality. Okay. The listening Saita, Vahadar listening Nazir, right? You were probably wondering this question. So start with the Saita and then do Nazir, because it's the Saita that causes us to not want to be a...
Hold on, why Yazir asking me yayin? Why yayin?
Because the wine is what caused the couple Mistama to get into such a state of lightheadedness that they then went ahead to do this Avera.
Right, it's not like they shacked up at the barber shop in the back, and that's why you can't cut your hair. Right, I'm just...
Or they're at a summit, like they're at a laya.
Yeah, and they're like locked eyes. Okay.
Okay, so why not start with Saita and then go to Nazir? Listening to Saita, Vahadar listening to Nazir.
What kind of question is that? Like, we just explained the order of events.
No, exactly. Based on the order of the events.
Oh,
what happened
Saita.
first.
Right.
So, Zakta Gemara, I did the Tana Ksubis, the Tana Hamadir, the Tana, because this is what happened. You got to know. The Ksubis was before that. And we taught the chapter of Hamadir among the chapters of that tractate, which talks about Nidarim. So then Tana Nidarim. I did the Tana Nidarim about, concerning making vows, Tana Nazir, because that's very similar to Nidarim.
I don't understand the answer.
We're not finished yet.
Oh, okay. It's so interesting how lost one can be without the art skill when you're like used to it.
So again, we're just in a vacuum right now. We only know of Nazir and Saita. We're like, well, it should be the other way. It's like, take a step back.
Yeah.
So you have to understand the sequence of events. It's like, don't just look at Nazir and Saita. Got to back up a second. We have Ksubis. And it talked about Nadarim. At the end of Ksubis, it talks about different vows. So then we're like, oh, perfect. We have a whole Masechta Nadarim. It's like, Nadarim is about abstaining, right? I'm going to Harini Nazir or Nadar from this. And it's like, Nazir's also abstaining from things. And then once we're talking to Tani Saita Kid Rebbe, and then we're talking Saita immediately after Nazir, just like we said. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hamakana. Okay, so we said someone who warns his wife.
Hold on, I want to just do that inside.
Yeah, go.
Because because the Yazir asked me, listening Saita about the Nazir, Edit Tana B'Ksubis, the Tana Hamadir, Tana Nadarim, Edit Tana Nadarim, Tana Nazir. Can we just switch one sec? Nazir. Hamadir. One of vows, then we taught Nadarim. We can vows, we then taught Nazir, which is thematically similar to Nadarim. And I thought that the consequence of the dictum of Rebbe is cited above. So hold on, like when they So the Tana, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, was Rabbi Yehuda Nasi actually like teaching the Mishnayos to people, and they were writing it down, like, or he was just teaching it, or he had like
He wrote it down.
He wrote it down.
He did write it down, and he like put it in the order that we have it today.
So really, the question is for him, like, oh, why did you put it in the order? And this is the answer.
That's so interesting. I didn't think of that. Good call. It makes sense that Rebbe would answer this question.
Right, because he's the one.
Got us into this in the first place.
Like, what was the reason he ordered it in a certain way?
Yeah.
Also, why does it need an order? What is the order? What does that mean? What does that mean? He's writing down all the Mishnayos.
Mm-hmm.
He's categorizing them.
Yeah. Everything was kind of all over the place. They never written anything down. Everything was discussed.
Okay, fine. So everything's put...
He said, Sisha Sidrei Mishnah. 6 volumes. This is the order. This is the good way to compartmentalize it. I don't think they had, like... They didn't think, like... It wasn't like, Masechtas this, Masechtas... It was like, oh, we're talking about this now? This is the discussion? Let's talk about it.
Right. So it's not just that he put it into Masechtos...
He encyclopedia'd it, you know?
Meaning, what's the value of putting it in an order? Like, what does that even mean? I'm creating these books, right?
It started was, I need to record this and write it down.
Okay, fine.
Now, what's the best way for me to record this and write this down?
Into different tractates.
Right.
Okay, fine, I get that. So brachas is a tractate.
Sure.
Now, what does that mean? Sotah comes after brachas. Shabbos comes after brachas. What does that even mean? Like, they're two independent books. But you're saying that, no, there's Shisha Sirei Mishnah. Within those 6 categories, what are the categories? There's Mayid, there's Nashim, there's Nazikin. Within those categories, there are tractates that fit that category, right? Mm-hmm. Now my question is, fine, you categorized the tractates, you put the appropriate tractates in that category. Now, who cares what comes after next? You have your 6 tractates of Nashim, however many tractates there are. Put them in, and if one comes out, what do we care about the order in which Sotah comes after Nazir? Like, what value does that bring? Did he intend that people learn it in that specific order, and that's why there's merit to doing this? I feel like I'm very fluid and lucid in this question. Do you understand?
I do. I don't have a...
That's what's bothering me. I had to word it in a way that was bothering me.
I could feel the bother in your tone.
Feel the bother in my tone. Warns the woman from going home.
Ooh. With
that man all alone.
From harvesting me.
I'm not putting this up. Just FYI.
Should. I mean, listen, we put this there for our, like, achrayas, right? That's why we post this in the first place. People are like, what happened? You guys didn't finish him. A guy said, what happened? You didn't finish Nazir? Like, actually, we didn't. We have like 10, 15 left.
That's my question. Okay, you don't have to have
question.
An answer.
Fine.
We'll do a little more. Let's do a little more.
Oh, yeah, I honestly... Let's do a little more. Maybe like 5 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Hamakana, the Evet in lechatchila. It says, one who warns his right. Let's start again. Hamakana, concerning one who warns his wife. The Evet in lechatchila, the Mishnah's use of the phrase of one who warns implies that the law taught here is indeed only after the fact for someone who gave this warning. But in the first place, he should not have done so. Why? There are many instances in the Talmud where the Tana employs this form, even though his ruling clearly applies in the first place and not only after the fact.
Hold on, he's warning...
Let's finish the sentence. Because Savar Tana Didan, from this we see that our Tana, the Mishnah maintains that Asr Lekanais, one is forbidden to warn his wife against secluding herself with another man. Wow. I feel like I don't have to learn Sotah anymore. This is such a limud for me. I never knew this.
What? What does it say? What does it say, Rebbe?
It's saying this Tana holds that it's usher to warn your wife against secluding herself with another man.
It's usher? But just like randomly? You need basis? What's going on? What does it say?
It's saying this crazy
I feel like
thing.
you're the guy with the binoculars.
This warning.
What do you see? What do you see? Who's coming? Who's on the ship?
All right, calm down. I'll tell you. Okay, just don't get so excited, all right? This warning can lead to marital discord and the wife's public humiliation on the Temple Mount. Even if she is in fact free of sin, he's going to cause this. This issue, whether a warning should be discouraged or encouraged, is the subject of dispute below, 2b to 3a, all right? So we need another day here. There we shall discuss the question of why warning her should be prohibited even when a husband has observed blatant signs of immorality. I'm actually very interested in this, right? Because I never heard this before. You heard this before?
No.
You're about psych. You never heard the guy is not supposed to warn her? It's like, bro, are you supposed to ignore the signs? Unless it's like, you can handle it differently. You don't gotta bring 2 of your friends into this. Don't go around speaking to everyone being like, I'm warning you in front of my 2 friends here. It's like, maybe go to the Rav, go to your therapist, work things out. I don't know. Well, sounds like it's gonna be enough like this.
Okay, stop here.
Oh yeah.